Anywho, fine.
All right, this is your warning that we are recording, and if you want to leave, you can leave.
Where did you get the voice thing to turn off?
What voice thing?
Okay, now, every time when we record stuff with the Sisters Enchanted, it says this meeting is being recorded. It says it every
Oh.
single time.
Because I started after it's not, I start the recording after people are in already.
We did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
It
I
does
don't
it
know.
like every time. It's so destructive and distracting. And it
I
just
don't know.
started doing it one day.
I'll look at my settings though, and I can let you know what my
Yeah,
settings
let me know
are.
because like that is frustrating as hell. And I thought I went through the settings and I couldn't see it, but it is very, very distracting.
Right.
So
Yeah.
where it's like, we'll start recording and it's like, this meeting is being recorded and it just,
Yeah.
it's louder than
Like,
anything
thank
else.
you for calling
And
the federal government. This meeting is being
Mhm.
recorded. You may go away. All
Yep.
right, so let's get this, get me focused here for a second, at least to get us started. So,
Okay.
so all you're going to need is, I'm using watercolor for everything. So if you have watercolor, bring it on. If you don't have watercolor, try to pick something that is blendable. If you don't have that, use whatever you got, because you know us, we'll always make it work. But what we're going to be doing is kind of transposing shapes and emotion onto the canvas. And I like the idea of using the watercolor so that we can just kind of feel into it, flow into it, use a lot of water, let things kind of blend and do their own thing. So we kind of lose a little bit of that control over it. So it's a little bit less defined over the other medium. So just grab whatever you've got. Couple of tips if you don't already know, if you're using watercolor. I have this little spray bottle kind of spritzer kind of deal that I fill up with water, and I squirt my paper with it before I begin, and I squirt my paint palette before I begin. So I'll bring it over here so you can see in this little guy. I feel so together because I actually have two cameras going. I was like, this is going to make up for me having only about 50% of my brain cells working today.
I'm just gonna run and grab paper because I forgot that. But I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have really old acrylic paint, so let's wish for the best. These
Yeah.
paints have to be maybe at least 10 years old. These were from when I painted the mural in my grandmother's house. So how I found these and not my regular paints, I have no idea.
Well, you'll be all right. And if not, you've got those other, I forgot what you said you had, crayons.
Colored pencils.
Colored
I'll
pencils, yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. So I like to wet my whole palette, let it kind of just get juicy or whatever, and then play around with it. I'm not going to wet my regular paper just yet, because I'm going to be writing and doing some things. So while I'm doing that, so today's or this month's actually theme is, which feels like an overall theme always for me, but is the magic inside. And it's, to me, the magic inside means harnessing that child within and that part of yourself that sometimes gets hidden away because you have to adult and you bury that other part inside or whatever. I say sometimes because even when I adult, a lot of times that part still stays in there, but I am always kind of aware of trying not to lose that part of myself. And I'm just basically a little kid at heart anyway. But that's what this is about. It's tapping into those spaces kind of like way down deep. That little kid that used to jump in the splash in the puddles, the one that looks at a tree and says, oh, I see a puppy in the tree. Do you see it? If you squint and look sideways and kind of stand on one foot, it looks like a puppy. Like that. We're going to channel that part of ourselves to look at everything just a little bit differently. And as we're doing that, I want to pull off what we've been kind of working on for like the last, 3-4 months or whatever, where we're taking all of these pieces that we've been more and more aware of ourselves and what we want to bring light on, what we need to focus on a little bit more. I want to kind of throw that on the paper and let it do its thing without us trying to control it. So I want to pick symbols and shapes and colors that are calling to us. So I'm going to throw out like some different types of like the way symbols and shapes kind of manifest themselves on paper in terms of movement, what it represents. I'm going to throw a few different things out there to give you some ideas, and you can use what I'm throwing out at you, or you can, use something else that you feel called to. I just realized I'm using a pencil. You're probably not going to see it. So as we're doing this too, I want you to just think about, when we were talking about what you were speaking, bringing into life, and how you were walking into, bringing that aspect of yourself into your everyday life. So with this one, I want you to kind of look at it a little bit differently and look at the areas that you haven't been focusing on, so that you haven't been, making that extra effort to focus on. I want you to look at those little parts of you that automatically bring you joy, like something that happens that just automatically kind of lights you up inside. I want you to try to channel those things. It can be the smallest little light up. It can be you love, cookie dough ice cream with caramel sauce and whipped cream on top. It could be that, but I want you to kind of think about those things. And as you're thinking about those, what like shapes and colors come to mind as you're doing that? What does it do? What type of feeling is it for you internally? And that's what we're going to do, is we're going to bring that emotional, I'm kind of also playing off the fact that Cancer is everywhere in Zodiac right now. So just like, if we're going to be bombarded with emotion, let's go with it. So it's Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and I think it's all over my chart too. So so we're going to kind of get that into just something fun. So to give you a few simple shapes and that kind of thing, I'm going to just write down a few different things and talk about, I'll do it, and talk about the differences. Can you see in here if I do that? Yeah. Let me find where my center is.
Nope, you haven't went there.
Yeah, it's hard to do this way. Okay, so you can see I've got jagged lines and I've got wavy lines, right? So if you're looking at jagged lines, that's like harsh change of direction, as opposed to the wavy lines, you're just kind of flowing into that change of direction. You're just kind of, rolling with it. So if you do, we'll do lines and circles. Let me go back this way. Yep. Lines and circles. So that'll give you kind of direction, right? So you're going straight towards a goal. You're going from one place to another. Maybe you're going from this part of your emotion to that part, or this activity that you're doing to that one over there. It's taking you in a direction. And the circles are more of a symbol of that continuity. It keeps flowing. It's the we go round and around. It keeps coming back. You keep revisiting it. And then if you take that circle and that was terrible. Do that again. You take that circle and you bring it into, now you've got squirrels. There's a little bug flying around right now. You've got the little squirrels going around, right? So you're moving, you're not going in the same direction. You're not coming back and touching that same point again. You're kind of ever flowing, adventuring, exploring, and wandering, that kind of thing. So you can see with just, these are all lines. Every one of these that I put on the paper, they're all lines, but they're all giving you a different like feeling when you look at it. So if you're looking at the feeling of the jagged lines, that's a harsh break. So I'm going to pick on Christina for a second, because I happen to know that she's got something coming up, over the weekend that is a very, very big thing in her life. So something like that, where you've got this big element that's going to happen, and you've got different emotions and stuff going on it, I would challenge to take that element that's going on, look at the different parts of it, what you're feeling about it, and then look at the opposite, those places where I said, those joy spots, look at what those are, what emotions come with that. And it doesn't have to make sense, right? But just look at what comes with the opposite that you've got going around and try to blend those together on your paper. So whether you use the symbols or the colors or both as you're bringing this together, try to take something that automatically brings you joy where you don't have to go searching for it and bring that towards that one thing that's been stressing you out. And this is where, like Shannon, for example, you've been doing this work on your relationship with your brother and all of those different things that have been happening with that. This is where that would be the part you want to blend into that joyful part of playing with Caden and puppies and, working in your garden and art, that kind of thing. So you're looking at what those symbols might be. And you can do that with just throwing paint on the paper, or you can do it with pen and pencil or whatever. I'm going to advise you do it with just throwing the paint on the paper and not thinking about it. This is more of a fluid, emotional kind of spew onto the paper, if you will. All right, I threw a lot on you. You got any questions?
Well, it's funny that you should mention him because he hasn't contacted me in 2 weeks, and I'm like, dude, if you need me, call me, but I'm kind of done. I mean, if you call me, I'll come, but I'm not gonna keep contacting you and saying, are you still alive? You still alive? Somebody will call me. I'm the emergency contact, so somebody will call. But it's I just kind of once I because I was trying to cut the cord, and he kept calling and calling. And once I said, you know what, whatever happens, happens, and I just let the whole thing go. Something did come up today, almost the same like with my daughter, because their garage is like a mess, okay? And there's just tons of empty boxes, empty like diaper boxes and stuff that it's just a mess. And so I told her earlier in the week, I was like, when I come by Friday morning to pick up Caden, I'll take those empty boxes to recycling, because to me, she's got a baby coming in 2 months. She needs to start, things need to be cleaned up. When I got there this morning, she's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's blah, blah, blah. And at first I was like, won't you let me help you? And I was like, oh, wait, it's not my problem. It's not my house. Why is it important for me to have her have a clean garage? So I just let it go. And I was just like, if she wants me to do it, I'll do it.
Nice.
That's huge.
It was huge. It was. I was like, and I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind was, you were raised better than that, right? and then the second thing was, it's not my business. It really isn't. So yeah, no, that was huge.
Yeah.
You feel
I'm sorry, go ahead.
more free now? Do you feel more free now, having done those two things?
Yeah, actually I do. It's how you say Nunya, like Nunya business. I'm like none my business.
I like that.
That's excellent.
I'm stealing that.
Yes.
So
No,
That's great. That is huge.
Yeah. And it's that hits on multiple levels, right? Because it's you're offering to help, but being able to, you're like you weren't comfortable when you walked in. You saw something that was uncomfortable for you, but also you saw an opportunity to help, right? So those are two very different things that come in. Mm-hmm. And she's probably feeling two very different things on the other side. Like I know with my daughter, she's like, Mom, I got this. Like I get that all the time. Like, she just reminds me how old she is sometimes, because I'm just like, but I'm right here. Like, oh. So it's hard to like allow that failure or that, whatever. Like in that case, it's not necessarily failure. She's probably just super overwhelmed with everything. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to allow.
Well, and she keeps her house pretty clean, even with the 2 dogs in the house. So maybe that's Justin's domain, and she's like, I don't care. he's supposed to do it. And so
Yeah.
there may be a whole other dynamic that I don't even know about. And so it was just
Right.
kind of like really nice just to let it go. Like,
Okay.
they want my
Yeah, that's
help,
exactly
they'll
it.
ask for it.
You don't know what's going on in somebody else's world at any point. So it's easy to put our own manifestations on what they're doing.
Right. And then I was like, well, what do I need to clean up?
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'm just starting simple on mine and doing, I'm doing the joyful parts first. So like for me, ocean waves and being on the ocean, being able to travel and move around and do different things. That's a joyful thing for me. If you're using watercolor, one of the really nice things about it is just being able to blend on paper too. So part of this exercise, as we combine one side to another, you're going to create something completely new. Your bird stopped. Oh no, you're muted. Never mind.
I'm talking while, but you knew I was talking.
I did.
You
But then I
looked
just
up
figured
when I
you were talking to
started.
somebody else.
You looked up when I started talking.
Really?
And you talked back to me.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It's just what I do. I freak myself out half the time.
I was trying to say I have the tiniest of brushes and it's going to take a long time. So
You can use sponges too, and paper
Mhm.
towels, sponges, paper towels, whatever tools you got.
yeah, it's acrylic paint, so it's like
Yeah.
messy. So I'm just
Well, and yours is older. You could add more water to it too and play around with it. I do that with my
Yeah.
acrylic paint. I blend, even though technically like that's not a thing that acrylic painters do. I blend mine all the time.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
just doing random shapes and seeing what it's getting me.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Lori does this really cool thing. I'm gonna put her on the spot, but she does this really cool thing with color interpretation. So she likes to kind of look at, what you've done and then and pull out, where you might have been, what you're emotionally portraying with that. I do it, but I don't hold a candle to the way Lori does it.
That's pretty cool.
It's a beautiful thing to see. I'm always like, yeah, do it again, do it again.
Yeah, we can play with that if there's time. I just use the chakras as a base. So
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
I didn't even realize I'm kind of doing the soccer.
yes, you are.
Just
Yeah, you are.
automatically, I'm not even thinking about it.
There's a
That's
rule
a beautiful
behind you
thing,
that
though.
going into your subconscious right now.
Yes. It's exactly what's supposed to be happening. Just digging deep.
Yeah, it's expressive art. So it's based on the idea that when we're creative, something from within, emotionally or spiritually, comes out on the page. It's your higher self talking to you, and then it's just a matter of figuring out what does it mean to you. You being the expert because it was your piece. And so there's no accidents on the page if you, smudge a line or choose a color randomly. Those are all potential sources of meaning. So we can play. So don't think about it too much. That's the whole deal.
So my favorite part of painting is just getting lost in it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces that come together in the process for sure.
Yeah.
Apologize if I sound weird. I'm fighting off a cold here. Ugh, vaccines don't stop that.
Right.
No. No, we
This
just
is
got
great.
off of a cold ourselves, our family. Well, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually okay, but Ken and
Yeah.
the kids are not, because we saw my brother-in-law, and for some reason, every time we see my brother-in-law, we get sick. Every single time we see my brother-in-law and his kids, we get sick. And Shannon was asking me before, was it the location? Is it just that area? We've seen them the last 4 times we've seen them, we've gotten sick, and 3 of those were different locations.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Twice at their house, 1 at our place, and then just recently in Ohio at a family gathering.
Oh, jeez.
It was never like that until he married his wife. So I don't know, there's a correlation there. And I don't like his wife that much. So
Yeah, now you
Well,
might be
now
having
we're
an
getting
allergic
somewhere.
reaction.
yeah, that could be it. That could be it. It wasn't always like that. It was only like I said, we started making the connection the last like 4 times we saw them. So
Gotcha.
we get along like enough, like mutual to be around family together and all that stuff, but I'll never like text her personally and be like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Like what's up?
Right.
You want to chat? No, it'll never happen.
Right.
So
Ugh.
Yeah, it could just be you're actually legit allergic to her energy.
it could be, but the kids and Ken always get affected. The kids, you always get infected.
Your kids
So
are pretty connected.
yeah, they don't get sick often. So
I noticed that when I'm painting, there's times when I'm like just really dainty, concentrating on one area or something. And then there's other times where it's just,
I don't have a direction at the moment. So.
stay. No, I don't want no. The bird's trying to come over here. She's climbing down. I don't want no birdie footprints in my painting.
oh, that would be cool.
You know, we actually did when, oh, that, you know what, that's when these paints were from. They're not when I painted my grandmother's mural. They're from when I painted the mural in the nursery in our old house, in the bedroom
Wow.
for Oren. So they're about 7 years old, so I'm not that far off. And me and my friend Jessica did it. We painted this whole thing from Bermuda because me and Ken went to Bermuda for our honeymoon. So we did like the birds that are there, rock cliffs and branches and leaves and palm trees and all that
Very
stuff in
cool.
the nursery. And the bird was with us because the bird's always with me. And I took the bird and I put her feet in the paint. And when we all signed the wall, so my friend Jessica signed the wall, I signed the wall, the bird's feet signed the wall too.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I got pictures of it. I'd have to share it with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what we got so far.
I don't know.
So colorful. I love it.
That's cool.
Wow. Yours is like a little explosion coming out, Lori. Yours
That was my
almost looks
intent.
like
I'm
a
glad you can see
rainbow
that.
flower. What's that?
These are watercolor pencils, so I'm gonna add water and smush it all together.
Ooh,
Yeah, fun.
that's gonna be cool.
But yeah, this one felt like the explosive stuff, and then over here is gonna be a new horizon of some sort.
I like it. Shannon,
like
yours was
that.
like almost like a rainbow rose almost.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's gonna change totally once I add water, so I don't know
Yeah.
what's, yeah. Oh, look
Yeah,
at
like-
you, Shannon.
When it looks,
Right.
when I see it like that, yeah, it does. It looks like a rainbow flower.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
so
hers,
cool.
yes.
Cool.
Beautiful. Christina, what
Mine
you
is
got so far?
madness because I have a really tiny brush, so it's full of scribbles right now.
Oh,
Right?
I like it.
It's almost Aztec right now.
Mhm.
It is. It's everywhere. This tiny brush. I will get it blend together.
All right. It's all good.
I have a napkin. I could just smear it.
Yeah. Yeah, that you
When
can
bird comes over, I just
bath time.
bath time for the bird.
Yeah, exactly. No, I guess we need a different brush.
Oh, they're all stuck shut. There we go.
Yeah, that one might be trouble.
Making too much noise. Is that bothering you?
You're making noise?
I'm asking. I mean,
No, can't hear anything.
Nope, you're not hearing me with my bracelets chattering and me trying to open the bottles and stuff, and you should be fine.
I
As
just hear
someone-
myself scribbling, so just making sure.
As someone who always makes noise, I don't think I even notice when other people do it.
Even my breathing is noisy just because I have this cold.
Aw,
Oh, honey, you're so critical right now. You're fine.
I'm just saying, I don't want to be annoying. I can mute myself.
We love you. You're not annoying.
you're fine. Mouth breathing and all.
Yeah,
What did I
exactly.
just watch? I just watched something
honest-
and they called it, on Stranger Things, mouth breather.
Yeah. But honestly, we don't hear anything. You're good, Lori.
Okay. One of those machines. So, for my apnea. No, I don't have that, but I feel like I do right now.
Summer colds are the worst too.
I've not
Mhm.
been sick since well before COVID. Like if I now I'm yeah.
It's like everybody's so concerned about getting COVID, everybody forgets about the other stuff.
Right.
Yep.
Now, some of the stuff too, like with watercolor, it'll dry differently. So like I'm putting yellow on top of the blue, that it's gonna dry green.
Cool.
Okay.
And these make good bases too. So once you're done with it, if you don't love it, you just color over it again. Like while I'm doing it, I'm trying to also process stuff that I've been trying to process for like the last month and a half, it seems.
Mm.
Because I feel like in those lost spaces, your brain does other things and then you kind of can see it differently.
Absolutely. Okay. So this is what we're doing now. This is the before, and I'm about to add water, so it might look very
Oh,
different.
cool.
Yes, I want to see.
Right.
Gonna have to get those for the kids. They would love that.
They're fun, yeah.
Been feeling like almost sick all day, and I don't know if I'm actually like getting a cold or if I'm just I'm
No, not
passively
you
taking
too.
it in.
And I hope I didn't give it to you.
It happens. That kind of stuff happens to me a lot. Like I'll wake up and I'll like have a headache or whatever for no reason, and then it'll just randomly go away in like 2 hours. And then I'll talk to my best friend, and she'll be like, "I woke up with the worst headache today, but it's gone now." And I'm like, "Thanks for that. That was great." A shield, but I feel like I don't know. There's something up with it.
I feel like that's what's going on with this back pain I've had all week, that it has to do with Chelsea and her husband's guest. And then it's kind of a pain in the back for Chelsea, but she can't voice it because I'm like, there's no reason I should be having this back pain.
Yeah.
Could be.
I didn't. And that's what kind of came to me. I mean, it got so bad that today I had to change Caden on the bed because I couldn't even lift him up to the changing
Oh, wow.
table. And I got little steps. He had fun because I got little steps for him to get up onto the bed. And he was like, "Oh, this is fun." I'm like, "Well, not really, but."
If we could just do that as adults, like, pivot
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, cool, new thing," right?
Yeah.
What a difference that would make.
It would.
Great.
The ability to pivot. I don't know. I don't know if I like mine or not.
I don't like mine either, but I'm just like random.
mine is
Complete randomness. I didn't follow the rules or anything. Just complete randomness. This one's like water. That one's no good.
You're right. There are no rules.
My rules are good.
It's like, I mean, to me, most of this that we do, the most important aspect of it for me is just that community safe space, to just be able to, it's because it's like self-care for an hour. Whatever you're doing, you're stopping, you're communicating with other adults, it's I don't know, it's like a totally for you thing, but like with other people. You know what I mean?
Yep. I like it.
Yeah.
It's just a community to just
Yeah.
hang out and chat and be safe with one another. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I always feel like I get something out of everything that we do. Somebody says something that like makes me go, oh, and like it just helps me in something else I was dealing with, or, you know, whatever, just makes me maybe aware of something.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can do that, you know, and always get something, even if it's just a break from the day, you know?
That's definite for me. I come in hot. It just takes me 10 minutes just to like have regular breathing going on.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's so important, right? Just to,
Yes.
sometimes I'm like, I'm so glad they're there, because I, like, I would be, like, I don't know. I would not have taken an hour for myself. I would have just like, you know,
yeah.
Mhm.
Same, yeah.
so this is what I ended up
Oh,
with.
Oh, fun.
beautiful.
This looks like an eye. Like I'm seeing like an eye to something,
I'm seeing that now too, isn't that funny?
like a close up, like of an animal's eye, and then like they zoom out, and it's like that's a squid or something.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting that as well.
Mine is a mess, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna get this napkin. I'm gonna smear it all, and I'm gonna see what happens.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Now,
It'll probably make brown.
I mean, it might, but
I once did that with I did that with finger pudding. When you add food coloring to vanilla pudding, kids can play with it, like finger paint with it. So I did a project with kids, and I did all the rainbow colors with my vanilla pudding, set them up outside at the picnic table. They all made their pictures. Every single one of them was brown. I could have just used chocolate and called it a day, but it did.
yeah, but then they wouldn't have got to mix it though.
Yeah,
That's true.
They made the
True.
brown. They made magic happen.
They made the brown.
exactly. They made brown magic. Well,
Yeah.
apparently this dried already, and I can't smear it. I got like a little bit on the napkin. That's it.
Let's see what you got. Maybe that's a
not
symbol
allowed
of
to
something right
smear.
there. Yeah,
I'm not allowed to smear.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
maybe
my
that's
madness.
a symbol of you being stuck in something. It really is like
It's absolute
aspect-
madness. It's just chaos. I don't know. I just picked whatever colors I wanted and just scribbled randomly everywhere.
Yeah,
So if you
but
want to
it almost looks like a map.
hold
It
on,
does
wait.
kind of look like a map, right? Like, you know, you got to cross the river here and like
Yes.
avoid the storm here, and there's like a rock pile there and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Something's exploding in your face there, you know.
That's your life. That's your life right there.
It's a
Can you
story
hold
of
that
my
up
life.
again, Christina? Can you hold that up again?
Yeah.
Because what's the most predominant color up there in there? I felt like it was
Let's see. I'll take it off of this so it's easier to hold.
I feel like what stands out the most brightness wise, I see the
can turn
blue
it
above
sideways.
all.
Yep. Same.
So there's the chaos of the red, which is all root chakra stuff, stressful stuff, things about basic needs or survival. But what carries through is something that you are either saying or being told that seems to outweigh all of that. And beyond the blue, what supports it is green, which is love, which is the heart.
Yeah, I put the green like kind of all over,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
really light. It's hard, and it's metallic paint, so it's all reflecting.
Yep.
But that's a mostly green in the
Yeah.
background. Red's just my favorite color, so I think that's also why I just went with that.
Yep.
If you hold it a certain way, there's actually a swear word in there.
What?
Yep.
Where? What'd I do?
Oh, this is excellent.
Where
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, I see an F right there. And then there's like the part of a U, but it's being hidden. And then there's a C. And it scrolls up to the top part of the K part, and then, yeah.
Well, that's
I'll
what you
send
need
a
to
picture and
say.
You're gonna have to point that out to me. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
yeah.
That's what you need to say. Good.
That's
can
the
send
story of
me-
my life. Fuck.
Yeah, you can send me a picture and I'll draw on
Yeah.
top of it.
Yes, do
I
that.
feel like it's exactly what you're feeling about like just what's going on right like,
That's how I handle things. That's also how I get it out because it's just
Yeah.
like I don't know, I'm one of those people that like cursing helps reduce stress and pain and all that other stuff. So I
It
just
does. That can
have
be
a hard
measured.
mouth, and it's just
Does.
like I just feel better handling the situation when I could just say fuck. I'm good.
yeah.
Yep.
Shannon, do you want to show yours?
And so I did another one because I really liked the first one. I didn't want to do anything. So this one, I was trying to, the middle part and the orange, and oh, I'm dripping water everywhere.
I'm sorry.
It was, no, it's okay. It was just like this searing pain that I've been feeling in my back. And then I was putting like healing energy around it, and it's just slowly like taking over. So that's
That's cool.
That's beautiful.
what I was going for.
I like that everything else is brighter than the pain. Like the pain is muted.
Mm-hmm. And like
Yeah.
you're already starting to wipe it away. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of blue in this one too.
Let's look at your other
I
one.
mean, you need to say fuck it. Just fuck it.
That's today's lesson.
You have to put a disclaimer on
The
this.
magical word of today.
We swear. All right. So, yeah. So that was the one.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I really like that too. Where are you in that image? I feel like there's like this lotus in the center. I don't know if you meant
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
And that's funny because I always struggle with the lotus flowers. It
Okay.
seems like every painting in the instruction we do, oh, we're going to do a lotus flower. I'm like, ah. And this one, I wasn't even paying attention. I mean, I was just painting. So
But look at it, it's right there in the center. Like, you
I know,
can
and that's
see
the
it.
most three-dimension in there. It's kind of
Yeah.
emerging from,
that's me.
yeah.
Yeah, you just intuitively threw it out there.
And you're emerging from the red, which is the chaos, the survival stuff, the root stuff. So I feel like you, as probably all of us do, gravitate more towards the intuitive and the, where we're grounded from the top end up. But I feel like what you're working on now is grounding, in being a human as well and emerging. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I like that the center is that like almost pure, it's almost like that pure white, like your pure essence in the center. So
Yeah.
like you're breaking, so you're surrounded by all of the chakras and everything, but and all of that energy that goes with it, but your pure self is just breaking free and emerging from that middle.
Yeah,
I like it.
I do too. That's awesome.
Good too. All right,
Like you are
Tiffany.
not affected by your chakras any longer. You are
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yes.
A hot mess. Wait, I'll do
All
it
right.
this way. I'll do it this way because that's how I had it before.
Is that how you see it?
Oh, I don't know how I see it. Wait. That's how I painted it, so I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it almost looks like a conch shell. I don't know if you intended that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like those squids that change color and stuff like that. Well, the cuttlefish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, do your thing.
Oh, I don't have a thing. You guys can all jump in. We can all do this. I just feel like if I'm looking at the blue, it gets muted, but not entirely covered. So it's like trying to say something, but not quite hearing it. But there are moments of clarity. There's a piece there that's not quite blended. And there's like love surrounding that process. I don't know if you meant to be green, but it almost looks angelic, like the wings, angelic wings right up against the blue, which tells me that, you're either being guided or supported in speaking your truth. And it's in process, so not quite clear yet, but coming.
It almost,
And it's coming out of the red, which is the hardship. What's that?
I said, it almost looks like on the, I'm pointing to a picture like you guys can see me. Like the pink part is an arm and the other side is an arm and it's like holding her world,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I like that.
Can you see that? Do you notice?
Mhm.
I agree with you, Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, of course, surrounded by yellow, which is power, spirituality, you know, sometimes the crown's depicted in yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. So despite the muted and chaos, there is a little teeny bit of clarity coming. That's
I like it.
Yay, there's hope.
I like your assessment. Yeah, I know, because that's kind of how I'm feeling. I'm like, I should have all this figured
yeah,
out.
there's no accidents.
What's
There's
that?
no accidents on the page. So anything that you can read from it yourself, if
Mhm.
it's resonating with you, it means something. It's always a clue to something happening on the inside. So you may notice new things as you look at it, you know, over the week or few weeks.
And as it dries too, it'll change. Well, not Christina's. Christina's is stuck.
I said a really tiny paintbrush. That did not help me. Because everything was dry by the time I wanted to blend.
Yeah, that is a minuscule paintbrush.
Oh, I did fine.
You did
I will be
awesome,
here
though.
a year. We're actually here a year already. On July 5th, we were here a
Wow.
year. And I've still not
Really?
unpacked a good portion of stuff. So
Really?
that clearly means I don't need it. We need to
I
go
was just
through
gonna say
things
that.
and get rid of them.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you clearly need a paintbrush, so you need to find that box.
Yes, I need to find that box that I found. I ran the box. I have my crystal things in it to make my trees. And I knew there were some paints thrown in there, and that's what I grabbed real quick.
Ah.
Because I was like, let me look in there. Maybe those are still in there, those paints.
Mhm.
I didn't remember that correctly, but as far as like my whole box full of all my stuff, I have pastels, I have markers, I have watercolors, I have all this
Right.
stuff, and we're missing.
I knew you had the stuff. Do you have one of your trees like right there?
I have one that's not fully built, but yes.
Let's see. You have to see her trees. Putting her on the spot with a not fully built tree, but that's okay. Gonna share the love.
What?
I said we gotta share the love.
Yes.
Oh, you did. I didn't know you had to dig it out. I'm sorry.
What does yours look like, Lori? What's yours look like?
Oh, it's not too different.
Oh, yeah.
It's
cool.
beautiful.
And again, the chakras. I mean, you got kind of the red and the orange and yellow, the green, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, this is the explosive stuff, which is what I'm processing. with-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an
grieving.
iris. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that's
what
true, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just grieving a lifetime of giving away too much energy, too much of myself. And I don't know what's on the other side of that yet. I'm sort of here. It already exploded. I'm already there, and I'm like mucking through here until I get to there.
Mhm.
But to me, it's like I said, it looks like an iris, like an eye, and
Now that
the-
you say
and
that,
the
yeah.
clarity is that I can.
Yeah.
And again, I'm pointing, like you can see. As it gets to the edge and it's a little bit more white, to me, that's like you're clearly seeing
Hmm.
Yeah.
what's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have
Yeah.
to move away from
I
the
feel
explosion.
that.
You have to move away from the explosion to be able to actually see clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And Christina,
I'm
I'm
not.
I
sorry.
was wrong.
I'm
I was
sorry.
wrong. They're not in there. All the wires in there, all the wire, the clippers, all that stuff. I don't have any trees that I have like 2 or 3 of them that I just twisted, but I never mounted.
Mm.
And those apparently aren't in there.
All right. Another day.
Yeah, look at the madness that has now been taken out of my closet.
He's out of the closet.
Oh, good. Step out of the closet. Step out of the closet. Well, thank you ladies for hanging out.
Yes.
I'm glad we could do a reschedule so that everybody could be there. I'd love our energy. So I was like, well, can we move it to a different day?
And
Yeah.
this worked
Yeah.
out much better.
Yeah, it puts a little bit on Lori on Fridays because she does a full client caseload on Fridays. So she does that all day and then kind of rolls in. But so it's one of those like it's a long day, but it's also like a bright spot at the end of the day. So it's
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't like my work, so it's all good.
exactly. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it a night. I think we actually we
Right, ladies.
we kept this to an hour,
Thank-
which is craziness.
I know.
Right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly.
have to
Crazy.
now clean up this mess, so.
Right. Same. I'm gonna do that too. You ladies all have